kick off our first lesson with establishing what exactly is a stage presence. A stage presence is a sort of electricity that just flows all throughout you and just propels out of you while you're on stage or while you're in a playing space. And you can be absolutely seated and still have a very loud stage presence. This doesn't necessarily mean stealing the spotlight away from what the audience needs to be paying attention to, but even stillness. As long as you are confident in that stillness, you will have a very colorful, very interesting stage presence. As actors, as storytellers, we have a certain toolbox, and at any time we can pull out these different tools and use them to really help us tell whatever beautiful story it is we're trying to tell, right? And these tools are basically your voice. Your voice is a very powerful tool. And during these exercises, I'm going to ask some things of you, and I hope you're not afraid of the sound of your own voice, because we're going to get loud. We're going to use our outside voices, okay? So your voice is a really big tool. Next, your hands. Your hands are a very powerful storytelling tool. Your hands can tell so much for you that maybe some of your words forgot to say, right? And then the next is your face. Your face is a very overlooked storytelling tool, at least for me. My biggest issue on stage is probably what my face is doing. I'm always concerned if what my face is doing, is it right, is it wrong, do I look silly? And I'm here to tell you that the sillier you look and feel, the more likely it is you're doing it right and you look awesome. And finally, our entire body as a huge storytelling tool. So let's start with the voice. I'm gonna have you take a deep breath in. And when you do that, be very aware of what your body is doing, right? When you take a deep breath in, your shoulders should stay nice and low and relaxed. They shouldn't rise up, and you shouldn't feel tenseness when you breathe in. It should be very open. Think open, think relaxed, right? So when you breathe in, your shoulders stay nice and low. And in fact, your diaphragm, which is, the area around your tummy, is gonna fill up and expand like a big balloon when you take that deep breath in. And when you let your breath out, it should deflate like a balloon and get smaller and smaller and smaller until you have no air left. So when you take your deep breath in, take as much air as you can possibly fit. And then when you exhale, when you let it all out, let it all out. Every last little bit of it. So we're gonna breathe together on counts. Ready? 5, 6, 7, 8. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Again, in. 2, 3, 4, and out. 2, 3, 4. Awesome. You might be wondering, Miss Prince, why are we breathing? I know how to breathe. I've been breathing all my life. Of course you have. However, when we speak, and before we even speak, our breath support needs to be so strong, because when we're on stage, we need to project, not scream, not shout, because those things will hurt your voice and damage your voice, and we want to take care of it. And a very strong voice is a very strong tool in your actor's toolbox to really help you tell the best story that you possibly can. And something that I like to tell my students is, yes, your voice is so important for these great moments that your character can have on stage, and it's just as important as silence on stage. Your character doesn't just come to life whenever you have a line, whenever you're supposed to say something, but when you're sitting there and something else is happening on stage, another actor has a line. You don't just go to sleep as a character or as an actor. So think of silence as a tool as much as your voice is. voice. So now let's move on to some tongue twisters, right? These really help open your mouth as well and really get your tongue involved, moving, exercising, all good things. Because when you're on stage, you don't want to trip up on your words, right? So this involves a lot of face as well as your voice, right? So again, remember that nice steady breath that we talked about? Make sure you have that when we're doing these tongue twisters. And another tip for doing these tongue twisters correctly is opening your mouth a lot more than what you're used to. This really helps give your tongue lots and lots of space to move around, because mumbling and keeping your mouth super, super closed really gives your tongue no room to move at all. Mama made me mash my M&Ms. I'll do it again. Mama made me mash my M&Ms. And again, when we do these, think open. And at the ends of the words, think open. So instead of closing my mouth as soon as the word is finished, I'm going to leave it open so that sound can still come out. Let's try another one. She sells seashells by the seashore. I'll do it again. She sells seashells by the seashore. Great, let's try another one. Marvelous mammals mimic the murmur of minimal Monday men. Did you get it? I'll try it again. Marvelous mammals mimic the murmur of minimal Monday men. And now let's move on to the face, because even in silence, your face, along with your other tools, but your face especially, is speaking for you. How many times have you seen someone and they're not saying anything, but just the look on their face really tells you what they're thinking, what they're feeling, if they've had a good day, a bad day, if they're a little sleepy, if they're a little annoyed, right? So what I would like you to do is really take some time to stretch out your face, right? And we're gonna do that together. So pick up an imaginary sheet of glass, and this glass is very, very strong. Now what I want you to do, and don't be afraid, the glass is not gonna hurt you, is smush it against your face like this, right? Just like that. Ready? So we're gonna smush it against our face, and I'm gonna have you move it around. And when it moves, your face should move with it. Ready? Okay. And don't be afraid of looking silly. I promise you, I will probably look far more ridiculous, but it's okay. The sillier you feel, that's how you know you're doing it right, okay? So, grab your mirror, smush it against your face. Ready? Smush! Right? And just leave it there for a little bit. Really feel the glass against your face. Now, move it to one side, any side you want. And now the other side. Now in big circles, right? Now go in circles the other way. Now go zigzaggy all over the place. Back to the middle. Take off the glass. Shatter it on the ground. When we act and when we're on stage and when we're getting people's attention and we want to keep their attention, another tool that we have is our arms. Now, I'm not saying to flail them around for no reason. As Laban says, man must move in order to satisfy a need. If you're not satisfying a need when you move, then there's no need to move. It just ends up confusing your audience and telling them something that your character doesn't want to say, right? Sometimes less is more. But let's do some finger stretches. Ready? These are called sprinklers, right? So flick water towards Miss Prince. And I'll flick water towards you. Now flick water towards the walls. Faster, 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 faster. Slow. Nice and slow. Now flick water towards your floor. Flick, 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 flick. Water the grass, water the grass, water the grass. Now flick water towards the ceiling. Right? And all of this is to just get you comfortable with the idea of moving. You can go ahead and stop. Great job. So many actors that I've worked with, and even myself when I was first starting out, I would get on stage and my voice was fine, right? I knew how to say and what I wanted to say. However, my body didn't match my words. My words sounded very confident, and this character that I was playing was very confident. But my hands did nothing, and my body did nothing. And I looked, well, I am, but I looked very small and unsure, and I had no stage presence. I was not engaging to look at. I was not interesting to look at. My voice on its own can only hold attention for so long, right? So get your body involved. If I speak, my hands speak with me, right? Even when I'm not speaking, have your character do something with their hands. Nothing distracting, because again, we're supposed to be focused on one thing at a time when we're watching a story. So give your hands something to do every now and then, just to keep your audience nice and engaged, right? So I hope you had fun with our hand exercise. Now let's go on to your full body. And this is another tool in your acting or storytelling toolbox. Walk around your room, whether it's a bedroom or outside or your living room, just a space where it's comfortable for you to move around a little bit in. Okay, now just walk around. In front of you are a whole bunch of puddles. Now what I want you to do is really imagine the puddles all around you and jump from one puddle to the next puddle, to the next puddle, to the next puddle. Each time you're going to try to make a little splash, and then the splash gets a little bigger and bigger and bigger until you make a huge splash. So maybe jump 4 times. And what I really want you to focus on is really seeing those puddles, hearing the splash of the water when you stomp your feet into them. Another thing that for me makes an actor very unique on stage when I watch them, or it helps them to have a very big stage presence, is they allow you to see what their character is seeing with them. What do I mean by that? If my character grabs a glass, right, and there's no glass really, but if I see that there's a glass, and I really believe that there's a glass, my audience will too. And that's what we're trying to do as actors. We're trying to get our audience to believe in this crazy, imaginary, fun world with us and with our characters, okay? So go ahead and practice on your own some of those tongue twisters, some of those exercises that we did together, and I really hope to see you all in our next lesson.